Hey, you guys. I have a verse for you for today, which is Psalms 2:6, and it says, "Yet have I set my King upon my holy hill of Zion." And if anybody knows that Zion is still the mountain that God chose, and as God said, He set His King there, and this is Mount Zion today, you guys. This is God's holy hill today. So the same God, the same roads that Jesus walked are still here today. The same roads that Jesus walked is still here today. To give you guys a visual picture. And the same God of the Bible is the same God today. And it goes on to tell us that, and this is Peter, Acts 2:17. I'll leave off with this verse. This is Peter speaking from Judea and in Jerusalem. And he said, "Be this known unto you, and hearken to his words, for these are not drunken men, as people supposed. And but this is that which was spoken by the prophet Joel, that the men caught the Holy Spirit, that they heard every man in their own language, and this was God's gift, because to hear a man to hear every man in one language is going to basically what God did before he confounded the language, because God separated the languages. So these men caught the Holy Spirit and heard every man in one language, and only God can do that. And Peter goes on to say, but this is that which was spoken by the prophet Joel. And Peter says, and it shall come to pass in the last days, God says the last days, saith God, I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. And so God says that this shall come to pass in the last days. So if we go to Isaiah chapter 2, verse 2, it says again, and it shall come to pass in the last days. So God is speaking about the last days again, that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. So this Mount Zion right here, Mount Zion, will be all the way in the clouds. So, and and all nations shall flow unto it. And many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob. And he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. And this is, very vital, that in the end, there shall be one king. And so in the end times, God is saying that he will pour out his spirit upon his people, upon all flesh, and all men shall prophesy, and all women shall prophesy. And God goes on to say that he will establish his mountain in the last days as well. So aside from the horrible things, God is also giving us the tree of life, which is his word, which is everlasting water and living water, so that we can have hope in those days. And I'll speak more on the matter. So you guys just comment and tell me what you think. Leave a Bible verse if you want. And I'll see you guys next time. You guys have a blessed day.